So another thing that obviously is a part of Fanboys is the internet side of things. We wouldn't be on the internet if that weren't the case. There's a whole big subgenre of the internet of just creepypasta. And
Yeah.
I'm not, a real purveyor of it. I read stuff every once in a while if it's something that people will be like, oh, you gotta check this out. It's really fucking great. It really will, freak you out or something like that. Most of the time when I start reading them, I stop about halfway through because I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you're supposed to be like, oh, then, the person was behind you or something like whatever. But there are some really good ones out there. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I tried thinking before we started the podcast of any, and just didn't have enough time to like do some research of it. But are there any that stand out to you guys of like really cool creepypasta that you've come across over the years, Caroline?
I mean, aside from Slenderman, which is what I guess was like the first one that I ever read, I think I remember one that I liked. It was about this Russian, I think, experiment where they put a few people in this lab with no windows and just one door that could only open from outside. And they were injecting the people with this new chemical that wouldn't allow somebody to fall asleep. So these people were awake for days, and every day they started acting weirder and weirder. At first, they were just very like finicky and just like anything, like they would jump all the time, little noises and things like that. Then they became very depressed, and then they became very scared for their lives. They would ask them like, "Please kill us," and then after that, they became deranged. Like they started eating their own body parts. They clawed their eyes out.
That's where I check out.
And then they became very, I think they became very sensitive to light. And at the end, they just became this whole new species of people that even didn't look human anymore because they were just really monsters with, sometimes like with just one arm or legs that were just like chewed up to the bone, and they attacked the scientists leading the project. And I thought it was pretty cool because they put pictures that just clicked with the whole story, and I just thought it was really cool. I think like any like crazy medical experiment like that gets to me. I think that one was pretty cool. I think those are the only two that it stuck with me. There are a bunch of, the ghost that somebody saw in the house, blah, blah, blah. It just gets repetitive after a while. But I definitely need to check for more because the medical experiment was really good.
What about
No
you, Sam?
eyeballs, Sam. You can read that one though. Well, I guess a little bit of eyeballs, but not much.
Yeah, other than like Slenderman and stuff, like he's the only one that I really know of. There's one called the Smiling Man that was kind of creepy. The ones that really get me, I don't know if they originated from creepypasta or not, but they're like 2-line horror movies or like 2-line horror stories.
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen
they're
that.
the ones that are
Oh,
like some of
yeah.
the most disturbing ones. Like the first one I ever heard was something along the lines of the last man on Earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door.
Right, yeah, that
That
kind of
just
stuff
your
gets me.
mind just races when you hear that of possibilities. One person completely ruined it for me though and said, "Oh, well, it's just a woman at the door."
Oh, damn, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you're fucking with me now.
Then it turns into a happy story because then he's just kind of like, whoa, there's a woman here. What did I do
Look,
wrong
Unless
this time?
listen,
I'm the only
if she
man.
doesn't unless if she doesn't have a vagina dentata, then it's not such a happy story.
Or she has like one of those anti-rape things up there and she forgets about it.
Never just thought
Aw.
about teeth.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was talking
those
about you.
2-line horror stories are the ones that really get to me. Like another one of my favorite ones is this father comes into his son's room and the son says, "Dad, can you check under my bed? I think there's a monster down there." And he looks under and his son is under the bed and he says, "Daddy, there's something on my bed and I don't know what it is."
That's pretty cool.
It's like what? It's like I wouldn't even like stand up. I'd probably just go under the bed too. I'd be like, "Move over, kid. I'm staying down here now."
Which one do you believe?
I right there was a similar one where
At that point, you're like, I told her I didn't want to have kids.
yeah, there was one like where a woman she comes out of her bedroom into the hallway, and from downstairs her son says, "Mom, can you come in here real quick? I need you."
I'm baking
And
some cookies.
and she starts to go down the stairs, but then in the bathroom upstairs by the stairway, she hears her son yell, "Mommy, don't go downstairs. I heard it too."
Huh.
Those ones are the one like the short ones where they don't need to explain anything. Your entire imagination gets to run wild with what is the situation.
Yeah, but then it ties us back to our pretty much one of our first thoughts here. Nothing beats your imagination.
Yeah.
That's true.